Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite narrator, Aaron, back at it with another story. So grab a snack, kick back, and let's dive in. Today, I have a story coming to you from my brother from back when he was in high school. So, my brother, he's older than me. So, back in high school was definitely a few years ago now at this point. I want to say he was back in 10th grade or 11th grade. I kind of forget. And he was taking this one English class. And now the teacher of this English class, I'm going to name him Nazim, like the character from Skyrim, because dude, just listen to this real quick. This is what Google AI says about Nazim. He is a arrogant, hypocritical NPC who constantly belittles the player and other citizens of Whiterun despite his own unproductive lifestyle and questionable claims of influence. Now you'll see at the end of the video why I think Nazim was a pretty fitting name for this teacher here. Normally I like to be on the side of the teachers. My dad's a teacher. I mean, they have to deal with a lot, especially these kids nowadays. I can say that now that I'm out of school. I'm a bit of a boomer now. Teachers, they do deal with a lot, but there are certainly teachers from time to time who will eventually get back what they handed out, if you know what I mean. So like I said, my brother, he's in this English class, and at my school, back when I was in high school, they had the system of grading where it was like ones, twos, threes, and fours. I don't know if y'all's schools had that. It was kind of a new thing that was put in when I was going through high school. And the way it works is like one is like you're failing, two means you're like getting close to the standard, and three is like you're meeting the standard, and four meant you're doing really good, like you're exceeding it. It's like an A plus right there. And my brother, he's a bit of a nerd, he was getting always threes and fours, you know how it is. I didn't know how it was. I'm just kidding. I was also a bit like that. But anyhow, he was getting threes and fours, and he gets this one grade back from Mr. Nazim's class, the English class, and he got a 2. Now, when he told me that, normally I'd give him a little bit of shit for it, but this one wasn't on him. Now, essentially, so my brother, he gets his grade back, he sees it's a 2, and he sends his professor an email saying like, hey, is there a chance we could talk about this? I don't understand why I got a 2 on this assignment. My grades have been pretty good. Can we just like meet and say like, hey, what's going on? What can I do better? That kind of stuff. Is there a chance to maybe lift my grade up a little bit? That kind of thing. Just some totally normal email that you would expect if maybe you didn't get a grade you were quite looking for. Now, I guess someone stole Mr. Nazim's sweet roll that morning because he was just not in a good mood, apparently. As soon as he got my brother's email, he sends him back a pretty strongly worded email, essentially being like, who do you think you are? You're not going to change this grade. I'm the teacher. He was one of the only teachers at our school with a doctorate. And I mean, if you're a doctor and like you have a doctorate and you're at a high school, like, man, what are you doing? You could be doing much more. Anyhow, that's a side rant. I don't know what else he had going on in his life, but he sends him back that, and it's like totally like sounding like arrogant and like he's better than my brother, and it's not worded very good at all. And even more than that, he had CC'd the principal and the vice principal on this email. And now something you should know about my brother, he's never a troublemaker, you know what I mean? He doesn't like get in trouble. He doesn't like confrontation. He's not anything like that. So when he gets like called out by Mr. Nazim, he's like, dude, what the hell, man? Like he's kind of like taken aback, like caught off guard. That's the last thing you'd be expecting if you're just like, hey, I'm just trying to meet with you and, talk on my grades, see what I can do better. That's usually what good students do. And to get this kind of response back was jarring. So at this point, my brother, he was in sports and he got this email. He's like, whoa, like that's really bizarre. But he was, at sports practice. So after practice, he comes back inside and a couple of the teachers were still there after school. So he goes and talks to our guidance counselor, essentially like, hey, this is the situation. He's like, yeah, I just got this like bad grade. I emailed not the professor, the teacher. And I was like, yo, how can I fix this up? And he sends back this crazy email and CC's the principal and the vice principal, pretty much asking just like, yo, what would you recommend I do at this point? Like, this is obviously getting out of hand. I didn't mean for it to get this blown up. Like, it's just a small thing. And so they're reading through the email that my brother sent him, and essentially what they figure out was like, okay, maybe he just misunderstood the way that you put these words. Like sometimes it's easy to misconvey what somebody says in a text message or an email or something because it's just harder to convey it that way. Like, I mean, if you're just talking one person to another and you say a sentence just with like your tone and inflection and stuff, you'd say like, oh, they didn't mean it in a bad way. But in words, it can be taken as like, oh, maybe you're trying to hurt me, or maybe you're meaning it in a bad way, that kind of thing. And they ended up figuring like that's probably how Mr. Nazim took it, since he wrote back so, like uppity and arrogantly and like he was getting attacked. Like he wrote it as if he had to defend himself, you know what I mean? But my brother's message just wasn't like that. And so she pretty much says to my brother, the guidance counselor says to my brother, she says like, just, come back to school tomorrow, make a meeting with the principal, talk to him. He got CC, so obviously he's tracking the situation. He knows what's going on. Just meet with him, explain the situation, and see what he has to say about everything. So the next day, my brother comes in, was a little bit nervous. I'd be too. I mean, you're going to talk to the principal. Your teacher just flipped out on you. You're like, bro, what is going on, man? So he's a little stressful, or he's stressing on me. So he goes up and makes a meeting with the principal, goes into his office, and he says the first thing he notices was our principal was like wrapping a present. I don't know if it was like near Christmas or what the deal was, but he's wrapping this present and it's in like a fuck ton of duct tape. And our principal at the time, he was known for like being a bit of a prankster, a bit of a jokester. And by wrapping, the present in duct tape, it's like obviously going to be pretty hard to get into and that kind of thing. So he's being goofy, And so my brother, he walks in and he like starts laughing. He's like, oh, like wrapping the present in duct tape. He's like, yo, who's going to get that? And they're just making small talk, and it immediately disarms him. He's like, okay, this principal obviously isn't like mad at me, you know what I mean? Like he's gotten the email and he's not pissed at me. He's joking around. They're being lighthearted. It's disarming. That's what I'm trying to say. So my brother immediately calms down, and then the principal says like, hey, just tell me what's going on. Tell me the story. Obviously I got Mr. Nazim's email, and I feel like there's probably more to this than just his email. So like, let me know what's going on from your point of view. And essentially my brother just describes to him the situation, and the principal is like, okay, yeah, I mean, we've had a few complaints about this teacher over the years, and this is just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. So my brother, he goes on about his day after talking to the principal. He's like, yeah, no, you're not in trouble. He goes into his English class, and it's a substitute teacher, which beyond being a dub anyway is even better because obviously Mr. Nazim and my brother were feuding a little bit. So having the substitute must have been a good feeling. Like a week later, it comes out when my brother was talking to one of the other teachers. They were saying like, yo, Mr. Nazim ended up getting hired at a different position. And like, if you read through the lines, it's like, oh, you got promoted to customer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not quite a promotion. They're not firing you. You know what I mean? Firing just sounds better in the title, so I had to put that. But he moved positions because of this incident, but it wasn't quite because of it. There was other stuff leading up to it. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And they figured, hey, Mr. Nazim is going to be put to better use in this other position, up in the Sky District. That's a Skyrim term. They didn't kill him, I promise you. That's just a Skyrim term saying like, oh, he got put where he was better utilized. Anyway, that'll do it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I know it was a bit of a shorter one this week, coming off recording that 20-minute video for last week for the spooky Halloween season, even though I did upload it a couple days after Halloween. I hope y'all enjoyed that one too. If you did, remember to press the like button, comment a story of your own from this week that stuck out to you, or email me that story and it will get featured in another week's video. We're out here posting every week. If you want to listen without the video while you're doing chores or driving to work, these stories go up on Spotify under Story Snaps with Arrow. Remember guys, life is a story and you are the author. We'll catch y'all later.